Okay, today I'm providing you with more of a practical video of one of the tools that I've talked about previously. The reason why I've chosen this particular tool is to get started, it's free. It's something that you can also invite team members and clients along to as well. So it's a really great sort of baseline level tool to help you manage your tasks and your team tasks in a nice single place to view. So this is a Trello board example. Now in the board, I'll just talk about some of the basic concepts of the board and then some examples of how you can use them. So we have the concept of a list, and you can add a list very easily. Add list. And then within that list, we have a concept of a card. So a card is basically do a thing, a task. And then within that card, it has a whole lot of attributes. You can add people, you can give little tags, you can add a checklist, you can add a date, attachments, a cover photo, comments, description, all that sort of stuff can go in here. You can turn it into a template if you need to, use it on a regular basis. And you can come in here and you can tag people. So I'm going to tag Tamara as an example, and I can write a comment to Tamara. I can save it, and she will receive an email letting her know that I have either allocated her to a card or written a comment for her to have a look at. So it's great. It keeps people up to date, and it will remind you if your due date is coming up if you are a member of the card. So in this example, that's very basic. There is some automations that you can do. There's a function here called Butler. If you want to get more advanced and add some automations in here, that's also possible, but I'm not going to go over that today. We're just going to go over the basics. So I always have a list at the start of my boards, because in most cases it's going to be a client board or a company board or a specific activity board. And I like to have a list at the start where I can hold information that no matter who's on this board may need to access. It could be logins for different tools that we use. It might be some contact information for a particular person, or I might have stored some of my templates, which this is what I have here is one of my templates. I've kept that in my what I call company information board or personal information or whatever you want to call it. Then I create a bunch of lists. Normally the lists I like to use are where an item has to move through different phases of its life cycle. So here I've got things that need to be done, things that are being done, things that are finished, and then in this case, because it's a delivery of an order, when the order has been delivered, it falls into this list here. And you might want a little holding pattern list called follow up later. So some stuff that it's not a priority to go into the to-do list, but you need to follow it up later. There are a whole lot of different ways you can manage the activities in the board. It depends on your business, the language you use, and the phases that particular items move through. You know, if you're a design company, maybe it is to do, then it's in drafting, then it's in quality assurance, etc., etc. So you can choose what phases you want an item to move through. Alternatively, I also have clients where each list is a topic area. So we have an events group that we divide the event up into a whole lot of different groups. So we've got rides, we've got sponsors, we've got cupcakes, we've got ice creams, we've got food stalls. They are all different topic areas, and somebody owns each of those topic areas. So we create a list for them, and then we put all of the to-do items in that list. And then when they're done, they all move into the done folder, so that the overall coordinator can see for each part of the event what is everything up to. So that also alternative option is to have a separate board for each type of activity in the event. Whole lot of different ways that you can structure things, but I'm just going to go through a simple example today. So let's say we get a new Christmas pudding order come in. Then I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to put it into the to-do. Christmas pudding order for John. Create that card. Great, here I am. See, my card has now been put into here and it's got all of the stuff I need to do. I can add in now all of John's order details, and then as I do things, I can tick them off and I can give a final due date. He's expecting this at the end of April. So I've now got a due date there. Now you can see here I've got one that's in doing. Yes, it's overdue because it's from December. But you see you can add the details and then you can start ticking things off as you move through completing the items. This pudding order here has actually already been completed. So I can't open. Here we go. And someone should have ticked them all off so you know. So it goes green, 100% complete. Order's been delivered. Fabulous. There we go. All done. So you can see it turns green. If it's overdue, it's red. If it's not overdue yet, the date is white. So you can see where anything's at any one time. You can see that I've been allocated to this card here. It's got my initials there. And I've also been allocated to this one. But you can allocate anyone else that you want to the card at any time. You can invite people to the board here, put in their email address, and it will send them an invite to join this board as well. So if there's someone else that's involved in the pudding order, for an example, then you can add them in as well. Or if you're collaborating with somebody else, add them into the board. So there's a nice simple way to get started with your task management. You can see who's on what and what phase it's up to in the task's life cycle. You can allocate things to anyone at any time. You just want to then put good practices in place to make sure that every day they log into their Trello board, see what they've got to do at the end of the day. They make sure they move their cards around and update their cards so that you, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep, you wake up, you look at your Trello board, you know exactly where your business is up to.